I'm giving somebody the blues today.
Before Reina was officially revealed and we were operating solely based off the leaked information, she's the daughter of Heihachi and she kind of has his fighting style. Those were the two things that we knew mostly, and I based a lot of theories off of that. My predictions was that she was going to kill Jin Kazama because Kazuya can't. You guys told me he can't. Kazuya needs Jin, at least the devil gene within him. So that means Kazuya can't do it. At least he shouldn't. But also, if you look at what the trailer showed us, it showed us that Jin was going to be facing some kind of turmoil. He was in that desert environment. A lot of people believe that to be the underworld. So I was like, who's going to put him there? If Kazuya can't or will not, who is strong enough to do that? Claudio, maybe, with his sorcery abilities. Zafina, maybe, she's a witch. Lars, you guys don't like the idea of Lars backstabbing Jin. All arrows was just pointing at Reina being the one to do so. Another thing about her too is that she's a new Mishima. We saw how Jin was treated back in Tekken 3 when he was a new Mishima. He was oh so powerful. He bodied Ogre. Heihachi, the only way he was able to take him down was when he pulled out a gun, shot him in the back. But the point is, he was a monster in that game. And the same thing for Lars. In Tekken 6, he was pretty much unstoppable. So whenever they introduced a new Mishima, they were very, very powerful. And I was like, why would it be any different from Reina? You have her show up, do the impossible, killing Jin, then boom, we're all blown away, we're all surprised, but then we see the power that the character has. But once the character was officially announced and we got official information about the character, all that stuff kind of changed. And in this video, I want to put out my new ideas on what I think the character is and will be. Because, I've been kind of staying away from a lot of the story stuff. I really think the developers shouldn't be putting out as much as they are, and it's kind of hypocritical because, I'm the guy who talks about leaks and dissect every aspect of it, but it's different from like putting stuff out and stuff slipping out, right? But I think they're kind of showing a lot about the story, and I'm just wondering if they have more to show, but that's a different subject. Focusing on Reina. The small aspects of Reina that I did see is that she seems like she kind of likes Jin, and they're kind of buddy-buddy. The same thing with Lars, to a degree. In the trailer, it does not seem like she's powerful enough to, one, fight Jin or Kazuya. And the character's going to be like, I don't know, she's just not on that level that they are. But what I started to think about is, I wonder if they're going the route that they went with Heihachi. If you think about when Jin was first introduced, he was allies with Heihachi, at least so he believed, right? They were working together to complete the same goal, take down Ogre. Through that journey, they fell apart and they became rivals. I'm wondering if the same thing will happen for Reina. They team up to take down Kazuya, the Azazel demon form of him. But then maybe somewhere along the lines, their ideologies, what they're fighting for differ, and then they go back to the three different sides, the 1-on-1-on-1. I think Tekken works better in that way. That's another reason why I really wanted Reina to be on her own. And if not her, also Sanchez. So seeing everyone grouped together in a trailer, it was cool. Don't get me wrong. It was fantastic. But it was kind of like not good because there was so many people on Jin's team, and it's hard for me to believe that all of them combined cannot take down Kazuya Mishima. It's just hard to believe that he's that powerful. Now maybe Tekken 8 will display that power and show why he's feared the way he is, but it's just hard for me to comprehend with everything we've seen so far, right? But like I said, I wonder if Reina is first being introduced as an ally the same way Jin and Heihachi was, but then she'll flip and become different. Now, something else that I want to touch on too is her personality. Of course, we haven't seen that much, but her personality is very different as well. I really was expecting a jury kind of character, and I guess this is why leaks is bad, because you kind of make up your own. You take some information that you're not supposed to have and you start forming your own ideas, but when the character is actually shown, if it's not that, then it conflicts. You feel disillusioned is kind of how I would explain it. And I think it's kind of strange that they went the route of making Reina not only like kind of good, but then her also attached to Jin Kazama. I don't think it's a bad decision. I'm really interested to see where it goes, because I think it's I don't want to say new because Lars kind of does it as well, but I think it's new in the sense that she doesn't have an army. She's the daughter of Heihachi, and we know how much Heihachi hated Jin and Kazuya. So now the question that I'm asking is, why don't she feel that way towards Jin? Why did she get trained by Heihachi? I'm guessing he would have put all of his ideologies, tried to implant that in her, and then she would run with that, right? Come back to avenge him, especially if he's not going to be showing up in Tekken 8. I just don't know why that wouldn't be her thought process. Now, maybe it is like the enemy of my enemy is my friend situation where Kazuya is just this big bad guy and everything else is on standby. Once we get rid of him, then Jin Kazama, you're next. Maybe that is the route she's going. But also, too, something that's interesting about her is that she is a high schooler. Mishima Zaibatsu Polytechnical School. Once again, a lot of comparisons to Jin Kazama. Jin Kazama was also very young when he ran into Heihachi, and he was thrusted into this world that he was not prepared for. I think that's so interesting. Jin Kazama knew the Devil Gene was within him, but she trained him and tried to prepare him to control that, to harness that energy and use it for good. She really tried the best that she could, but before his training was complete, she disappeared. Ogre came along, clapped those cheeks, and Jin Kazama vanished. As such, you had Jin, with his incomplete training, be thrust into a world that he's not prepared to deal with. I don't know if they'll go that same path with Reina, but they could. Maybe Heihachi wasn't done teaching her or training her or whatever, and now she has to make this journey all on her own. If you think about it, it's kind of mirrored, right? I love when Tekken do this. Tekken will put a character in one situation and we can see how they react, and then they will put another character in that same situation and that character will react differently. For example, Heihachi discovered that Kazuya had the Devil Gene because of his mom. Heihachi then took Kazuya outside and basically was like, okay, now we're going to fight to the death, basically. Throw him down a mountain and the rest is history. That is a harsh way to react, you know? But then Jin Kazama, what she did is, she saw what Jin was going through and she tried to make it the best that she could. Now Jin is in that same situation, but minus the Devil Gene, but he's in that same situation. You have to ask yourself, Jin now will be able to think back on how Heihachi treated him when he first showed up, how Kazuya treated him when they first met, and he could either have that same like anger, that bitterness, that Mishimas always betray each other attitude that Kazuya and Heihachi does, or he could really try to accept her and help her grow and become a better character. I really love how they put a character in a situation and then another character also is in that situation and they just react totally different. I think Reina, now we don't know how, because I've really been trying to stay away from all of the story stuff, right? But we really don't know how those two characters meet and what their journey will be. But regardless of the fact that Reina appears to be meeting in a friendly manner, she wants to help, assist. This is a real opportunity for Jin to kind of mentor Reina, as well as Lars, right? All of them, Lars, Lei Shao Kahn, all of them has been done dirty in the past and they all felt the burn, that stain from Heihachi, from Kazuya. So this is a real opportunity for them to not pass that burden on. They can end that Mishima feud here and now, right? I don't think Kazuya will die in Tekken 8. I more so think Tekken 8 will be the death of the Devil Gene. But let's just say Kazuya does die. You have these three Mishimas left, and if they're all allies, then once again, the Mishima clan is united. One thing that I also think is real interesting about Tekken 8 is how they seem to be going backwards. They're going backwards and talking about the origins of the Mishima clan, how they were samurai, a very strong family within Japan, and they rose up. Once the World War II kicked off, they turned into like the kind of the empire that we recognize today. And then once Heihachi got involved, that's when it kind of got fractured and splintered. Yes, all we know is Heihachi and what he's done and his legacy, but the legacy of the Mishima Zaibatsu before then, it seems like they were pretty united and pretty strong, and to see them return to that would be amazing. Reina's introduction is of course, it's something that I think is really interesting. Regardless of if my theories is right or wrong, I'm really eager to see where the character goes off and become. I know a lot of people are heartbroken that Heihachi's gone, but the fact that he's gone for at least Tekken 8, right? I think that's pretty obvious now that he won't show up. Even his DLC, he's gone. but the fact that he's gone means that we could see these other characters explored and flourish. Think about this. What if over the course of Tekken 8, if Reina really does become allies with Jin and their bond is strong, and then Heihachi resurrects and he still kind of has a beef with Jin Kazama? What will she do then? Will she mend the beef between them, or will she be like, up, my dad's back, joining his side, and then you have Lars and Jin versus Reina and Heihachi, right? They have so many different things that they can do in the future, but first you have to establish and build the characters that you have now before you can jump to that. I don't think Reina is a replacement of Heihachi. I think she's more so could be a addition. She can transform the Mishimas and the story that we know into something new and refreshing. I have high expectations for the story of Tekken 8. I think we all do now, to obvious, even though I've been saying